Not that I have been doing so previously, ever since our trip to town. Hanako's been on my mind. What? Not that I haven't been doing so previously, ever since our trip to town. Hanako's been on my mind. I saved it. I still don't know what to make of my relationship to Hanako. I like her, I can admit that much to myself. I want to protect and shield her from the pain she feels. I really don't think my feelings are just those of friendship anymore. But that said, I feel like I don't even know her. Change the record, we've heard this before. If I made a move on her, how would she take... Oh, yes, actually. Is she in an emotional state that allows her to make a reasonable decision about a relationship? How would she cope with anything that might happen afterwards? There's also the possibility that I'm just completely misinterpreting Hanako. Not a difficult thing to do with someone whose social skills seem to be so undeveloped. Will that person stop walking? The sound of footsteps come up to the door, making me perk up. It's Mickey. It ends up just being Mickey. And a smile and bye-bye. She barely acknowledges my existence when I accidentally make eye contact with her. I'm about to look away, but another person comes in not after she takes her seat. There we are. I feel myself freeze as I see Hanako enter. Don't! This isn't a rational reaction, but I have no idea about how I should act or what I should say to her. Well, let's start with a simple hello. How are you today? No? Okay. Just gonna be awkward? Fair enough. For a moment, our eyes meet. Ah. And then, just as quickly, she looks away and moves to a seat without saying a single word. You stupid twat is out. And transition. We're in the library. As isn't there... Oh my god. Never speak when you're stretching. As now as usual for the period following classes, my face is buried deep in a book that I find thoroughly uninteresting. Why read it? Studying is not something that comes naturally to me. You are my brother. I didn't study a lot before coming to Yamaku, and until now I've largely managed to coast through on talent alone. It's frustrating that I can't do that anymore. Judging by the faces of the other few students in the library, I don't think I'm alone in my distaste for this. Misery loves company, I suppose. I decided to spend lunchtime with Hanako. Since we haven't had lunch together for a while now, I may as well have spent the time studying now. Aside from pathetically small snippets of small talk, there was barely a word said between us. Why does she keep doing this to me? She has... I just want to protect her, to be there for her, but every time I feel like we're coming closer, we end up further away. Oh, well, you shut up. Are you busy? Oh, what? Hanako. My head whips around in surprise, causing her to retreat in fright. Oh, God. You are infected by a deadly emotion. That was bad timing. If I hadn't been thinking about her at that very moment, I probably wouldn't have been nearly so startled. Sorry, you just startled me. I feel nothing. I find myself staring at her longer than I should, so I go back to the text lying on the table in front of me. I feel more like I'm just staring at the words rather than actual reading. I get the feeling Hanako can notice this as well, so I sigh and close the book. What's up? I was just wondering what you were reading. Oh, she looks a little downcast after my reaction to seeing her. Giving up on the prospect of getting any more work done, I get up and return the book to its place. Oh god. Apologies. To its place on a nearby shelf. Just an English textbook. Has it helped? It's helped me realize that I don't like English. Yeah. How dare you? Hanako gives a small giggle. I may muse on the strange state of our friendship, but I do know that such little gestures are things that I wouldn't see were I not at least some distance closer to her than when we first met. I look at her for a moment, thinking about what I do and don't know about her. It's a slightly depressing topic. Oh my god. Is something wrong? Yes, it sounds being a twit. If I want to know more about her, maybe I should stop being so evasive about it. Oh god, you can tell that something's about to happen. Talking with Lily as an equal, rather than being constantly in fear of causing her to become upset, worked fine. So I should just try a straightforward approach with Hanako as well. Prepare the bomb shelter! Hey Hanako, do you mind if I ask you a question? I don't mind. Get it ready! I want to know what your life was like. Your life before coming to Yamako. She hesitates. I briefly consider backing off, but she seems to be taking the question quite seriously. Hold the preparations, just a minute. I sit and watch her, silently letting her take her time. She's not making eye contact with me, and looks almost as if she's arguing with herself into letting herself open up to me more. I'll be with you in a minute. Her answer finally comes in a stiff, almost reluctant nod. She looks far more tense than she did before I asked. I wasn't going to retreat. What are you trying to say, Sal? I'm your man. Okay, but in return, you have to tell me about your life as well. I'm a nobody. I don't remember how I lost my heart. It's amnesia. Yeah, I know. It's dreadful. I nod and follow her as she begins to walk out the library so we can talk. Oh, I was right. By now, most of the students have already left the main building, so apart from a few people hovering around rooms, the hallways are largely empty. I guess we'll start with coming to Yamako. Let's see. I was in hospital when my parents first told me about Yamako Academy. The doctors told me I shouldn't go to my old school anymore. My parents agreed and persuaded me to apply for Yamako. No, it wasn't persuasion. It was, you're going. That's how it went. Apply for Yamako, even though it would mean living away from them for the first time. Oh yeah, that just reminded me. The apply to Yamako bit reminded me of Bleach Manga 547. They still haven't showed Grimjow. Dear God. It must have been hard for you. It was. They didn't show me it. The king is alive, and I don't care what you say now, fan. Well, yeah, I have to admit that it was. My parents both work long hours and full time, so having to live reasonably independently wasn't anything new to me. It was the fact that I was going to a school for disabled students that hit hardest, I think. And you? A small group of chatting girls passes us as we near the stairs, with Hanako pressing herself tightly to my side until we reach the ground floor. She doesn't usually come this close while just walking in school, so I'm left a little put off. You flaming kid. The staff at the orphanage offered me some options on what I could do. Middle school hadn't been good, so I thought that Yamako might be better. It was isolated, and I thought it might be easier to get by here with most of the others being disabled. It's pretty ironic that the reasons Hanako looked forward to Yamako are the exact reasons I hated the idea. To me, it felt like I was being shunted somewhere away. My God, good job I stopped that word. Somewhere away from society and everyone I knew. To Hanako, that was probably an inviting prospect. What was life like in the orphanage? It was okay. The staff there were nice, and they took care of us. The children there didn't talk to me much, but I didn't really want to talk to them either, so I didn't mind. The orphanage had a little library, so I started to read to pass the time. The staff didn't mind it because it made me easier to handle than many of the other children. My God, if Hanako talks more, I'm gonna die. You didn't make any friends there? No, I think my life was on hold during that time. I knew that, but I didn't mind. To think our life was on hold for all that time, though, depending on when the fire happened, that was a huge chunk of her life. No parents, no friends, apparently no relatives. Yeah, I find that a bit impossible. No, the relatives bit. Oh God, Shut up, Xaydam, come on, before you dig yourself a grave. We walked through the door into the courtyard. I expected me to avert my eyes from the sun, but by now it's well into sunset. Hanako's eyes kept flicking to me, so I look away from her a bit. What was your life... What was it like in the hospital? I quickly clear my thoughts and try to refocus them. I hesitate for a bit, but I know that I have to tell her. We're close enough for her to feel comfortable. What? We're close enough for her to feel comfortable telling me this, so it's only fair that I reciprocate. It was okay at times, but at others it was pretty bad. At the beginning, everyone sent their sympathies and came to visit often. It was just like breaking an arm or something. Meeting all my friends was one of the good times. Hanako came in often as well, more often than anyone else did. But there were bad times too. When my friends slowly stopped visiting, I began to realize how grave my situation was. It reminded me that this wasn't just a broken limb, but that I was now a different person than before. I nearly said heaven then. Even the times Hanako would spend with me became torturous. By the end, we were reduced to silence, whereas before, she'd be talking constantly. But that's how Hanako always was. She may have been a fragile person, but she would talk constantly to try and hide the fact. Not about anything in particular, just talk. I think the 3 lowest points would have been when my parents told me I wouldn't be going to my old school anymore, my birthday passing while in hospital, and when Hanako left for the last time. I wouldn't want people to see me in a state in the hospital. I mean, that's something that I hate about hospitals. It's where you're not yourself. We leave the school buildings behind us as we begin to follow the main path through the gardens. There may have been the odd bystander in school buildings, but outside, my voice is dying. Dear God, we're practically alone. What was your middle school like? I liked it. I grew up in a really metropolitan area, and the middle school was nearby. What? Yeah. So it was pretty crowded. I didn't mind it, probably because I'm used to being in crowds and around lots of other people. My God, the opposites attract is coming into play here. I got good marks and I played soccer with my friends. Football! I spent a fair bit of time hanging out with them after school as well. Did get teased a bit over my hair though. Beg your pardon? Your hair? I grimaced a little as I put a hand over my hair to cover it. It kept getting tufts and strands that refused to flatten or stay where I wanted them, and my mother wouldn't let me just get my hair shaved. It had a habit of popping out no matter how much I tried to brush it down. Hair never changes. Well, in visual novels and anime, well, it does if there's a post-skip. Leave me alone! It still does a little. Ha! I was worried I'd get that reply. Really? You were worried I'd laugh? I highly doubt that. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, God. I give a mild laugh and wave it off. It's fine. I know it still does. It feels strange to have someone act so interested in my past. If it were anyone else, I'd think they were just acting polite. Yeah. But that's something I really don't think Hanako would do. Or if she did, she'd do it so badly that it would be obvious. There are a number of girls in the common room on the ground floor, and Hanako presses herself to my side once more as we pass them. I expect her to break off, but instead she continues to cling onto me as we walk towards the stairway. Something about the way she's holding onto me feels different from usual. Why did the music fade? I'm left deep in thought as we walk up the stairs and down the hallway. It's only when we stop that I look and realize that I've been following her without question. Why did we come to your dormitory room? She looks straight at the door without so much as a glance in my direction. Hanako? Oh God, what's going on? She moves to answer but stops herself. Instead, she silently breaks from my side, opens her door and steps inside. Do we leave or what? I look him down the hallway, a bit lost as to exactly what I should do. Shrugging. Well, got nothing better to do, let's just go in. I decide to follow her since I don't have any reason to do otherwise. You'll be my bitches now. Gara. He's awesome. Hanako stands in the middle of a room and looks straight at me. It's unnerving when she does this, as it's such an unusual action for her. I open my mouth to speak, but she preempts me. Could you close and lock the door? Eh? Hanako's hand reaches for her dress, grabbing her blouse at her heart. Oh God. What's going on? I turn and lock the door shut, then freeze. Right? This is probably not what I'm thinking. I have a filthy mind, leave me alone. The atmosphere is beginning to feel quite strange. This feeling is only made more profound when I hear the curtains being pulled behind me. It's going to be night soon. We're a guy and a girl in a bedroom. She's closing the curtains, and I'm shutting and locking the door. She can't really have that in mind. Can she? I gulp and turn around, very, very slowly. Hanako is in the center of the room, but hasn't turned back to face me. You told me about your past, so I have to tell you about mine. Oh, she's just showing me the scars. Well, wait, but we've seen them. What? She takes a deep breath. She takes a deep, shuddering breath and pauses for a number of seconds. Her hands move to a ribbon and begin to tug, all but confirming my thoughts. Oh dear. Hanako? Please, don't say anything. I obediently stay hushed as she slips off her ribbon and continues to unbutton her blouse before working the clip on her bra. The process is slow. Perhaps it just feels slow because of what she's doing. I'm not sure. I am not sharing this episode with my friends. Jesus Christ. They'll probably be like, what are you into? Frozen to the spot, all I can do is watch as Hanako, hands trembling, unclips her skirt and lets it drop to the ground. Oh God, I've got a lot of editing to do. God, freezing. Finally she takes her blouse in her hands and draws it off, her bra falling from her shoulders, and so Hanako stands in the middle of the room, all but bared, save for her stocking and underwear. This is me. All of me. Oh my lord.